Okay, so for Rachel Toscano and your friends, you want to talk about this? I'm not gonna type it because I don't feel like doing it. Um, I was working. I worked at the All Star Music Food Court, so I went to work there every day. I was working at the grill section, so like I was making chicken tenders or pizza or French fries, or I was taking orders, something like that. Anyway, I was taking orders that day. Actually, no. I was stocking the cooler. I was stocking the cooler for like 2 hours. I went on break, and then for 45 minutes they put me on the grill section. So then I was there. I was taking orders. I was taking over for the person who was taking orders because when I went in, the person who was taking orders went on break. So I had no clue what was going on. I was completely lost. There was a bunch of people. They were all speaking different languages, and I was just like confused and just pissed off. So what ended up happening was I was frustrated, and I went to my coworker. I'm like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, everybody here, everybody here has either been taken care of or not, and I need you to ask people if they've been taken care of." I'm like, okay, so I started asking people, and then I found out that they all don't speak English, and I need to get like somebody who spoke like Spanish or something like that. So I got Fernando. Fernando spoke Spanish. I was just I couldn't get Fernando. No, yeah, I'm trying to remember. I couldn't get Fernando because I couldn't leave because I was taking orders. So I look at my coworker. I threw my hands up in the air and I was just pissed off. And I walked out and I went to the bathroom for like 10 minutes. And I came back out and this girl Heather who was my boss, like she was a supervisor. She's like, "Oh, Brian, well, you can't just walk out on them." She's like, "Oh, what happened?" I'm like, "Oh, I explained to her the story." And she's like, "Brian, you can't just walk out on them. You can't just walk out on them. You can't just leave them high and dry. It's kind of screwed up." I'm like, um, I was confused. I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what was going on, and all that shit. So I told her, I said, I feel like this place is so much more different than any other food and beverage place. And she's like, oh, it's the same thing at McDonald's. Everybody wants to get McDonald's. I'm like, yeah, but this is Disney. You can't get a Mickey Mouse ice cream bar at Disney. You can't see Donald Duck and Goofy at Disney at McDonald's. So she moved me to a different section. She moved me to like I forgot what the name of it was. Um, she moved me to a different section. It was next to ice cream. Um, shit. I'm gonna call this section. I'm gonna call it like She was section B. We can call that. I don't know. So I went there. I was taking orders, and it was the section was one person takes orders, and they call it back to the chef in the back, and they make the orders for them. Keep in mind, I was never properly trained on this place, on this station, and um, I went to that station. I was taking orders. This new chef came in. I forgot. I don't know what her name is, but she was like she she didn't like the way I did things. Like fucking she was like insulting to me. She was rude to me, and I worked with her on one prior occasion where we were in grill, and "Oh, she's like, oh, you sure you know what you're doing, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry about it." And I just thought that was rude because she was like questioning my ability to perform my job well. So that pissed me off. And then we were at station B, like the one, I don't know, I don't forget the name of it. So we were there. She shows up, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get I'm gonna go get so and so. I'm gonna go get a supervisor. This guy's too slow. We need somebody who's faster." And I thought that was incredibly rude again. So I go to the bathroom. She leaves. She's not there anymore. I go to the bathroom because we weren't busy and there was nobody there, so I could go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I walked past her in the back, and she's like, "Oh, are you done yet?" I'm like, "No, I'm just going to the bathroom." It's like, "Oh, okay." I go to the bathroom. I come back. It's still empty. She shows up again, and I go up to her and I'm like, "Why am I so crappy at my job?" Keep in mind, there's no guests anywhere near us at all. There's no guests within, I'm gonna say 15. I mean, the food court is like a big oval. It's like a big circle shaped thing, and from the station to the register where you go to pay, it's probably like, I'm gonna say, more than 15 feet, but less than 30. Less than 30 feet away. So in that range. There was no guests anywhere in that range at all. So I told her, I'm like, "Why am I so crappy at my job?" And she's like, "Oh, I've been working quick service. I've been working food for a long time, for over 10 years. You'll get used to it." I'm like, "You'll get adjusted to it. You'll get used to it." I'm like, "You're a chef. Your form of adjustment is way different than mine. You're a chef. You come to work and you do one thing. You cook food. Whether you're in this station or this station or this station, or either whether you're in the front making food in the front or you're in the back making food. Either way, you're making food. My form of adjustment is I'm either making food, taking orders, wiping the floors, taking out garbage, greeting people, cleaning beverage island, making ice cream, making chicken tenders, making French fries, all that shit." And then I get like one of my supervisors coming up to me. His name's Nate. He comes up to me probably about a half an hour after that conversation. She went in the back after we talked, so so it leads me to believe that she told him. And then and then Nate comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, Brian, come with me. I gotta talk to you." I'm like, "All right." He's like, "Oh, what was going on over there?" I'm like, "Oh, I was just talking to so and so, just talking." And he's like, "Oh, I need you to come in my office for a second." I'm like, "Okay." Um, Here's the situation. I'm giving you this form. I want you to give your side of the story. I don't want any influence on anything at all. Just tell me your side of the story. You may or may not have cursed in front of a guest. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no shot in hell I did that because there was no one near me. And if you're talking about the and you're talking about the situation that just happened, there was nobody there. Nobody there. So I filled out, and I feel like the reason why they came up to me is because I was an easy target because I spoke my mind on Facebook. I spoke my mind about Disney. I didn't hold back on anything, and basically this happened. I'm gonna say I filled this out on like a Thursday, on Thursday. Um, I come to work on Tuesday. I show up early. I'm sitting outside waiting for my shift to start. I go in. You check it. You clock in, and when you clock in, it gives you an assignment about where you need to go. I'm like, oh, am I gonna go to beverage aisle? Am I going to the grill? Am I going to take out trash? What am I doing? I get there, and my assignment, oh, go to Nate's office and go talk to Nate. I'm like, okay. So I go to the office. Say, oh, take a seat. It's Nate and Nate's boss, like one of the bigger bosses of the the All Star Music food court at that place. He's like, oh, I talked to a couple people, and we're gonna call this a separation from the company. They wanted me to move. They're like, oh, this happened after 5 o'clock. So everybody who was in the program knows that the housing offices close after 5. They close at 5. So like, oh, we sent all the information to the housing office of the building, of the apartment complex you live in. They'll help you out with everything. We're gonna escort you out of the building now. They asked me, oh, do you have anything to say? I'm like, no, because I was just in shock. I was shocked. I was nervous. I was confused. So I said no, I didn't want to talk about anything. I go to the housing office the next morning because I wanted to see what was going on. So I show up there at 9 o'clock when they opened. And they're like, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to see if I could get I wanted to know when I had to get out. Oh, well, you were supposed to be out by 11 o'clock, by 11 o'clock in the morning today. I can see if I can get that extended. You wanted me out of here not even 24 hours after it happened. You want me to pack up everything. Keep in mind, I had my dad come help me move in. What if I had a car, thank God. But what if I didn't? They want to kick you out of your apartment complex on the street while you wait to go get a flight. That's Disney, man. I mean, it's supposed to be magical. I guess not. I mean, I've had a sour taste in my mouth for Disney, for Disney and the whole damn company ever since that happened. Yeah, that's my side. That's my side of the story. So y'all can go talk about this now.